Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video with Tank Group today. Today we're doing, well, boys and girls, we're playing some World of Tanks console. That's right, boys and girls. And what we're doing on World of Tanks console, Tank? Well, I'm glad that you asked. We are going to be taking a look at the new German light tanks and tank destroyers that came in Cold War. That's right, they finally came in Cold War, and we're getting some awesome new vehicles. There's probably some ATGMs involved. But we're going to be taking a look at some of the different types of things of these vehicles, both the guns and the armor, like we normally do in these type of videos. And before I do start with everything else, I am sorry for not getting this video up sooner. Probably like a couple days late on this type of video, so I'm sorry for that. But at least I'm getting it out to you guys, so that way you guys can go ahead and see this type of video and see what kind of vehicles is coming in Cold War. It's better to know what's coming, right? Especially if you want to know, if you want to ground down this line and see if they are anything worth it. Um, yeah, so I guess we're going to be starting off from Era 1 because that's where these vehicles do start at. So, yeah. But I guess let's get started then, shall we? So, able to get your first tank, you do have to play the M46A1 pattern, which is your first tank to start out with, which I know it's American, but still you gotta play it to able to get the RU251 at Era 1 for yourself to start out with in the German new tank destroyer line. So, I guess let's take a look at this beautiful beast. Now, this beast is in World War II as well as a Tier 9 vehicle, but it's in Cold War as well. I think some of the stats might be different than the World War II version, but I guess let's take a look at the first gun that we have in this vehicle, which is a stock gun. The stock gun is a 90mm Rheinmetall BK90L40 gun. The rate of fire is 8.82 rounds per minute. Accuracy at 100 meters is 0.38, and it gets APFSDS. APFSD. Wait, what? APDS. I'm sorry for that, guys. Heat rounds and HESH rounds, and can carry up to 56 rounds for its major gun. So let's talk about the gun itself. So your APDS rounds gets 208 meters of penetration. Your heat rounds gets 320, and your HE rounds gets 102. Your alpha damage is 240 both for your APDS rounds and your heat rounds, and 320 for your HE rounds. Do keep that in mind for this type of vehicle. Okay, so let's take a look at the upgraded gun. The upgraded gun is a 90mm Rheinmetall BK90L40V2 gun. The rate of fire is 9.23. It also gets accuracy at 100 meters, 0.36, damage 240, penetration 230, and APS DS rounds and heat and HESH rounds as well. And you can carry up to 56 rounds on this gun as well. I don't think that's just compared. We can't take a look at any more stats of it, but let's take. No, I wanted to look at the armor. Take a look at this little light tank's armor. Like I said, I know light tanks aren't going to be the best things with armor-wise, but it's always good to know what kind of armor you have, because sometimes you can pull off this stupid, ridiculous bounce on V with a light tank. Even if you know you have very any armor, it can happen. It can happen. So let's get started. So we got 6 meters of thickness, which looks like the mud flaps of both the rear and front of the tank. 8 meters thickness, which is the, well, engine deck, the, well, what you want to call it? The roof of the turret, the hull, the belly of the tank, and the rear of the tank. 10 meters thickness, which is these little bits here and there. Around 12 meters thickness, which is the commander's hatch, the driver's hatch, and just all the like hatches. 15 meters thickness, which is around the gun man, the gun and stuff. 20 meters thickness, which is the, well, the rear, the sides, and the front of the turret, and the sides. What was that? The sides? Am I correct by that? Yeah, the sides of the hull and the tracks, which tracks again acts like space armor, so heat rounds and high explosive rounds will not pen your tracks. Your front is 25 meters thickness, which is the upper plate. Then you have your low plate, which is 30 meters thickness, plus where the driver's port is, and the gun mantlet itself, and then a little bit inside the gun. Then 35 meters thickness, which is the gun itself. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. Of course, this thing is going to cost you 250,000 credits, and I'm not going to really say how much they all going to cost within grade wise, but they do get pretty expensive up into the higher tiers as well. So our next tank we're going to be looking at is the Konza Panzer 4 through 5. Um, but I think we have this vehicle in World War II as well as a premium, so it's pretty nice to have another version of this vehicle in the game. But let's take a look at the stock gun this thing does get. It does get a 90mm BK90L40 gun. The rate of fire is 9.09 rounds per minute. Accuracy 100 meters is 0.30. It gets HESH and heat rounds, and it can carry up to 60 rounds as well. So only two different types of rounds for this vehicle for its stock gun, but still pretty much noticeable, or needs to be noticeable. And we get only one more upgrade. Actually, wait, no, I think I do something. I'm so sorry for that, guys. I am so sorry. I don't know where my mind is today. But your stock round, which is the heat, right? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah, heat. Only gets 2 rounds, Tank. What are you thinking? But your stock rounds, which is your heat rounds, gets 320 meters of pen, and your HESH rounds gets 102 meters of pen, and then your damage is 280 for your heat and 370 for your HESH, which is kind of awkward for me to say for having only 2 rounds for a tank. I don't think the Tier 8 Premium version gets 2 rounds, but I could be wrong. I don't have that one yet, so I could be very wrong about that. But that is it for the stock gun, at least as you can see here. Now let's talk about the upgraded gun. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit of wanting to talk about the upgrade gun, but the upgrade gun is a 90mm gun as well, which is the BK90L40 V2 gun, which is basically the typical thing within the Cold War area. You do get a V2 version of a gun, so do keep that in mind. But the rate of fire is 9.52 rounds per minute, accuracy 100 meters is 0.27, damage is 280, pen is 220, and again you get heat and HESH, and you can carry up to 60 rounds as well with this type of gun. Yeah, okay. So only 2 rounds for both the 90mm guns, both the upgraded and the stock guns, so you're really not going to be trying to focus, I guess, with 3 types of ammunition. It does sound like the 2 Russian top-tiered main battle tank and tank destroyer within Cold War, the both Era 3 vehicles, the Object 292 and the Object 477A, which is both very powerful at their tier, but still something greatly, and you guys probably already know about the Object 477A, because I've already posted like 2 videos about that thing, so yeah. But let's talk about the armor of this real machine. I mean, I believe, if I'm correctly about this, it's based upon the RU-251's hull, which I don't think this is going to say about that here, but it should somewhere. I don't see it. Just don't see it. But you could actually check the stats out and see about how this vehicle is and stuff. But let's check the armor, shall we? So we got off the topic is the mud flaps and this little box back here, and the gasolines. Oh wow! Which is 6 meters thickness of armor, 8 meters thickness of armor, which is the engine deck, the roof of where the cupolas are, and above the tracks. So if it is using gun depression, it's going to be easier to shoot up into these tracks or up into it. So, but I don't think you're really going to need that if you're playing this machine and you're get spotted. So we got 12 meters thickness, which is the little bits back here in the butt of the tank, and back of the what's that thing called? The superstructure, plus the little bits of the what do you want to call those? Viewpoints, I think they're called. And then we got 14 meters thickness, which is the I'm sorry for that, guys. 14 meters thickness, which is the roof or the forehead of the tank and the sides of the hull, and also this little superstructure back here, or back of the superstructure of the vehicle. 20 meters thickness, which is the tracks, and little bits here and there, as you can see with the cupolas, the little tracks on the sides and stuff. And then we have 25 meter thickness, which is the cupola, one of the cupolas. Then we have 28 meter thickness, which is, well, the gunman, what it looks like. And then we have 30 meter thickness, which is the full gunman with the full, both the low plate, the upper fighting compartment, the sides of the tank, and that's it. And one of the cupolas as well. So we have 30 meter thickness basically almost all over the place. Uh, 35 meter thickness, which is the gun, and then 50 meter thickness, which is inside the gun. I can't believe that. But okay, wargaming. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. But that is the Concepenza 4 or 5. I'm hoping I'm saying these names right. But now let's look at the Era 2, which is probably something that you guys have been wanting to see. And this is going to be the first area where you're going to start seeing the ATGMs for the German tank destroyers, which this thing does look pretty freaking cool and stuff. But what kind of ATGMs does this thing have? It has the dual SS-11 missile launcher. The rate of fire is 2.15 rounds per minute. Accuracy at 100 meters is 0.25. And of course, it's carrying ATGMs. What do you need to know about that? And amount of capability of the ammunition it can carry is 30 rounds. So you can carry up to 30 rounds. But how? Tell me about this vehicle. It can carry, yes, 30, but looks like you can have 2 on top. So yeah, okay. So penetration is 600 meters of penetration. Damage is 1,210, which, if you've been playing Cold War, this is not going to come in any surprise because ATGMs can hit hard, really hard, especially if they can get to your juicy and more softy spots of your vehicle, like the sides that has less space armor. If you can find somewhere on a tank that has less space armor, or the rear of the tank's hull, or somewhere that doesn't have much armor at all, these things will pin and they will do a lot of damage. So, but if you are facing them, not so much, because your space armor will take the ATGM on the chin, and probably sometimes it will protect you from the ATGM. But at times, maybe not, if they know where to shoot at on your tank as well. So keep that as a mind for this type of vehicle. So the upgrades, well, we do get the upgrade dual SS-11 missile launcher V2, which it's something that you expect out of Cold War. The V2 models of a gun, I guess. I don't know why they call it V2, whatever. But the rate of fire is 2.61, accuracy 100 meters is 0.22, damage is 1,210 damage, which I think sounds like the same thing as the stock ones. We still get 660 meters of pen, and of course ATGMs. This vehicle is all about ATGMs, and you can carry up to 30 rounds with this vehicle as well. Oops, my bad. So yeah, this vehicle is just an ATGM vehicle. Actually, yes, looks like we do get a little bit more pen by looking at it. Yes, we do. We only get 60 more pen, but still, the point is 60 more pen. And do we lose alpha? Oh wow, it looks like we do lose some alpha. Actually, no, we don't. That's the hit points again. 1,210 and 1,200. So we don't lose no alpha. We don't gain any more alpha than what we normally would get. So you do keep the alpha, but you get 60 meters more pen than the stock ATGMs, which, you know what, whatever. I mean, I think you can do with 600 meters of penetration at Arrow 2 with the stock ATGMs if you're willing to play with that, but it's up to you. So, what about the armor of the vehicle? Well, you're probably thinking the armor is probably not much more difference because this thing does look like the Kunstpanzer from like Era 1, which I don't know if I said this thing's name, but it's the Jack Panzer 2? I'm probably butchering that name so badly, so maybe that's why I didn't say that name. But still, the armor, it's probably going to be somewhat just like the other vehicle. All these vehicles' armor is probably not going to be the best, but still, it's always to know about the armor. So we got 6 mirror sickness, which is the gas tanks back here, and these little boxes, and little bits and bobs, and the mud flaps here and there. We have 8 mirror sickness, which is the top of the fighting compartment and the engine deck, plus the rear of the tank and the belly of the tank, and above the tracks as well. Then we have 10 meter thickness, which is the little viewports, I think what they are called, and little bibs and bobs in the rear of the tank as well. We have 14-meter thickness, which is the forehead of the tank, the sides of the hull, and then we have 20-meter thickness, which is the lower plate and the tracks, which also the ATGM's area and the two little like R2 things, if you want to call them that, and a little thing in the rear of the tank as well. 25-meter thickness, which it looks like it's the things that's holding the ATGMs up above the tank's hull. Then we have 30-meter thickness, which is the sides and the front, both the lower plate and the upper plate, and the machine gun port too looks like as well, which does look pretty freaking decent if you ask me, with the 30-meter thickness of armor. And that is the Ratagag Panzer II, which is the first Era 2 tank destroyer. Next is the Era 2 light tank, which is the Model 1A1, which is telling you with this machine, it looks like an awesome little vehicle to have. But what do we get out of this vehicle? Well, we get two types of weapons here. We do get a 20mm Rematal Mark 20 RH202 gun with also a ATGM meal launcher. So I guess we'll start with the 20mm auto cannon. The rate of fire is 138.72 rounds per minute. Accuracy 100 meters is 0.27, and you can carry, well, your ammunition is APDS and HE rounds. Max capability of rounds you can carry is 1,250. So you can probably like half that between both HE and APS DS rounds if you really want to, and that's up to you. Now your ATGMs is the rate of fire of this weapon is 2.11 rounds per minute. Accuracy 100 meters is 0.26, and you can carry, of course, two different types of ATGMs. It's not much really to know about that, and you can carry up to 16 rounds of your ATGMs, either one. Yeah, for sure. Okay, probably could carry 6.6, 6.6 of both of them, right? Well, yeah. So our standard gun, we have penetration 172, not 172, 175. I am sorry for that, guys. I am really playing it pretty low today, am I? I don't know. 175 with your APS DS rounds and 35 with your HE. And your damage is 25 for both your APDS rounds and 30 for your HE. Okay. Well, we gotta know about the damage for the ATGMs, right? Well, yes. The damage for your ATGMs is 915. Pen is 550. It's not 1,000 damage like I was expecting it to be. I was expecting these ATGMs to hit pretty freaking hard. But that might be the upgraded ATGMs. They might hit a little bit more harder, so I guess let's take a look at the upgrades. So, our first upgrade gun is the 20mm Rematal Mark 20 RH202 V2 gun. The rate of fire is 143.13 rounds per minute. Accuracy 100 meters is 0.25. Damage is 25 like normal, which is probably going to be normal for the older cannons, but if you add that over time, if you're hitting juicy soft spots on a tank, or hitting their tracks and keeping them attractive for your allies, it really doesn't really matter too much. But the penetration is 192. You get the APS DS rounds and HE, and you can carry up to 1,250 rounds for your auto cannon. Your ATGM launcher is the ATGM Million Launcher V2, which is not much more differences, but the rate of fire is 2.22 rounds per minute. Accuracy 100 meters is 0.24. Damage is 950. Still don't get that 1,000 damage mark. Must be this tank destroyer thing or something like that. But no, it's not, because the French AMX 13 SS 11 does nearly 1,000 damage with its ATGMs. So not sure what's the difference here, but oh well. The penetration is 550. Carry, of course, ATGMs and up to 16 ATGMs at one time. So yeah, I guess keep an eye out what type of ATGMs, and I think I can take a look at the armor of this vehicle, but it does look nice. And it only gets one launcher, so keep that remindment of that one launcher being your only launcher. So once you fire one, you do have to reload the launcher, but as long as you go back and forth between your launcher and your auto cannon, you're going to do some good work with both weapons, not both vehicles, but both of your weapons at the same time. But let's take a look at this little thing's armor, and do keep in mind that this is a IFV, a armored fighting vehicle. So yeah, we got 6 minute sickness, which is a little camera on the side of the turret, and well, these little shurikens on the sides of the hull, and what is that right there? I don't know. Is that like? Well, it looks like a protection between the fighting compartment at the rear and the front, where the engine would be and stuff, and the driver as well. So that's like 6 minute sickness, which when you do pin, you're going to be pinning and doing a lot of damage anyway. So I don't even know why they added that in there, but I guess it's all right. We got 10 minute sickness, which is the mud flaps and the left and right of the back, and these little bits and bobs on the tank as well. We got 11 meter thickness, which is the upper plate of the hull, the belly, and the rear of the turret, or the hull, and again above the tracks, and the where the autocannon sits as well, or where the autocannon sits into. Um, I don't know what you want to call that. And then we have 12 meter thickness, which is where the ATGM is, and the little viewports here and there, which is a whole bunch of them. And we have also 15 meter thickness, which is the size of the turret and the size of the hull and the mantlet around the autocannon. 20 meter thickness, which is the tracks and little bibs and bobs here and there, as you can see, and also the ATGM launcher. 20 meter thickness, which is the front of the turret, and it looks like little bibs and bobs here again. 25 meter thickness, which is the left and right of the front of the hull and the lower plate as well. And 45 meter thickness, which is the mid plate and left and right of both the lower plate as well. And that's it of the armor thickness of this type of vehicle, which keep in mind that this is the Model 1A1, which we get a fully upgraded one, well, not upgraded, I guess you could say, more better one in Era 3 as well. So let's go back and let's take a look at the last of the Era 2 light tanks. And this thing is pretty freaking awesome. I've been hoping that this thing does come to the game, which looks like we get ATGM launcher with this vehicle as well. So we do get 2 different types of guns with this vehicle, just like the previous one. So there you go. But will this thing hit nearly 1,000 damage? Not sure. I'm not sure. It's going to find other guys. So, what is the type of guns we got? Well, let's take a look at them. We got the first gun, which is a 57mm Beaufort L70 Mark I gun. The rate of fire is 37.70 rounds per minute. Accuracy at 100 meters is 0.28. And the ammunition we can carry is AP, APFSDS rounds, and HE. And we carry up to 96 rounds, which is not that bad. Then our ATGM launchers, the BGM 71B TOW 2. The rate of fire is 3.08 rounds per minute. Accuracy 100 meters is 0.28, and damage is 1,100. So this thing will be hitting you pretty hard if it hits your juicy parts. So the previous vehicle will not hit you as hard. It's almost close to 1,000, but this one will hit you a lot more harder, nearly 1,100. So do keep that in mind. Its penetration is 630, and of course that's going to be very obvious because it's the ATGM. They're meant to destroy tanks. So yeah, and of course your 2 rounds carries called ATGM. ATGM. I mean, you came right, just can you? But you carry up to 16 rounds of both your ATGM, so basically 6 rounds per ATGM. Being they both probably have the same years of penetration, the same alpha damage, so depending on which one you want to take, I guess. But yeah. Now let's look at the other stats of the main gun. The main gun, with its standard AP rounds, gets 245 meters penetration. The APFS DS rounds, AP DS rounds. Oh my goodness, I'm probably screwing up so badly. It gets 270 meters penetration. Its HE is 75 meters penetration. The damage is 85 for both the AP and APDS rounds, and 95 for its HE. Okay, not bad at all, right? Yeah. What about its upgrades? Well, do we get any other types of ATGMs? No, we do not. Wow. Okay. So the previous vehicle, we did get a upgraded gun and ATGMs launcher, but this one we just get a upgraded gun and no upgraded ATGM launcher, which I guess is fine, depending on which way you want to look at it. Which I think the other one should have had the upgraded ATGMs to a little bit more damage, like 1,000 or so damage, because other vehicles does it too. But you know, whatever. It's Wargaming's game, not my game. I don't own it. But this gun we got here is a 57mm Buford L70 Mark II gun. The rate of fire is 40.34 rounds per minute. Accuracy 100 meters is 0.26. Damage is 85. What we expect is an autocannon. Penetration is 245. And again, you get AP, APDS rounds, and HE, and carry up to 96 rounds of this as well. So, alright, pretty nice, right? Yeah. Now let's look at the armor. And this hull does look like something from the modder, right? I think it is. I think this is actually just, or it might. Mm, Let me know in the comments. Is the Bilgula Panzer 57? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Germany. I'm butchering this name so badly. But is the Billiger Panzer 57 the hull of a modern 1A1? Or is it just the hull of the modern? Please let me know in the comments. I'm not real sure. By looking at it, it does look like it, but I could be wrong. I could be horribly wrong about that. So please don't hold me on that. Actually, let's look at not this. Let's go back. Let's see. What does this tell us about the Belgica Panzer? It doesn't say anything. Oh wait, right there. AISV built on the Martyrs armor personnel carriers. So it is based upon it. So I guess I just found out my own self. So guys, sorry for that. But let's look at the armor of this beautiful machine as well. So we got 5 meter thickness, which is the below the gun, and little bits and bobs of the rear, even the track, space, tracks, armor on the sides. And then we have 6 meter thickness, which is the protection of the crew in the back and the driver. And also a little bit right there below the driver's port 2, which is inside the tank, and a little mud. Well, they're not really mud flaps, are they? Little bibs and like these little space armor on the sides of the road wheels. We got 10 meter thickness, which is the mud flaps, the sides of the turret, or one of the sides of the turret, and that's it. 11 meter thickness, which is the upper plate, the fighting compartment, the roof of the turret, and the side and the rear of where the ATGM is, and the top of the turret as well, with also the belly and the rear of the hull. We have 12 meter thickness, which is the little viewpoints here and there. We have 15 meter thickness, which is the side of the hull, the gun, and the sides. Oh, so does the side of the turret and the side of where the gun is as well. It's kind of hard to say. And the turret ring as well. 16 meter thickness, which is the rear of the turret. Around 20 meter thickness, which is the ATGM, the rangefinder, and all of that, and the tracks as well, with also below the gun. 25 meter thickness, which is the turret ring. 30 meter thickness, which is this little bit right here on the side of the turret, and this little bit over here, which let's take this and show you guys. I know I probably should have been doing this the whole time, but oh well, I haven't. 32 meter thickness, which is the little bits right here. Like again, like I said, I probably should have been doing this, but you know, these little bits, which is the lower plate and the sides of the hull, which is could be like cheeks. 35 meter thickness, which is the front of the turret, and that's it. Yeah. We have 40 meter thickness, which is, well, what do you want to call that? Is that the? I think it might be the ATGM storage area, so it's the protected ATGMs. I'm thinking. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Around 45 meters thickness, which is the mid plate, and a little bit of the bottom part. 50-meter thickness, which is the sides of the gun. Around 60-meter thickness, which is, well, again, that little storage area, which is inside or behind the main gun. So that might be where the ammunition is stored for the main gun, not the ATGMs. Again, I could be very, very wrong about that. But yeah, 80-meter thickness, which is right there where the gun is. And that's it. That is all the armor of the Bergen Panzer 57, which again is a nice little tank, light tank in Era 2, and it's going to be the last Era 2 vehicle that you unlock until you get to the Marder 1A3, which, by telling you of the vehicle, you do get two types of ammunition for it, or not two types of ammunition, two types of guns for this vehicle. You do get the autocannon, and you do get the ADGM. Which I do want to say this though, I am surprised that they did not add a few vehicles, which I'll tell you guys after I'm done doing the review of this vehicle. So let's get right into this vehicle as well. So as you guys do know, this thing does get two types of guns. It gets the 20mm Mermitol Mark 20 RH202 and also the ATGM Milan launcher. So let's talk about the 20mm Ultra Cannon. The rate of fire is 180.43, accuracy 100 meters is 0.24, and we get APDS rounds and HE, and we can carry up to 1,250 rounds in this gun. The next weapon is our ATGM launcher. The rate of fire is 4 rounds per minute, accuracy 100 meters is 0.26, damage is 840. I'm surprised it does only 840, not 1,000 damage. Maybe the upgrade one will, but I hardly doubt that. The pen is 880, which I guess in a way, okay, maybe it doesn't need the alpha, but most other ATGMs are doing nearly 1,000 damage. So I don't get what's the difference for this vehicle. Why it's not doing nearly 1,000? Is it something that Wargaming doesn't want to sell with this vehicle? It is a Tech Tree vehicle, but we did see one of the other vehicles doing 1,000, or is that just like tank destroyer thing for Tech Tree vehicles? I'm not for sure. But we get, of course, two different types of ATGMs and carry up to 16 rounds of the different types of ATGMs. And we'll talk about the remaining parts of our 20mm Ultra Cannon. Our standard APDS rounds gets 214 meters of penetration, and our HE rounds gets 55 meters of penetration. Our damage is 25 and 30. So, okay, pretty decent right there, right? Yeah. Now, let's see, does it get any other upgrades? So it gets another 20mm cannon and the ATGM launcher. So let's look at this new 20mm Ramato Mark 20 RH202B2 gun. The rate of fire is 188.76. The accuracy 100 meters is 0.21. Damage is 25. Pen is 214. And you still get the APDS rounds with HE as well. You can carry up to 1,250 rounds for this gun as well, so do keep that in mind. Your other weapon is your other ATGM launcher, which is the ATGM Meal Launcher V2, which the rate of fire is 4.32 rounds per minute. Accuracy 100 meters is 0.24. Damage is still 840. Again, I'm surprised it doesn't do any more than what that is. Maybe we'll go check another vehicle that's in Cold War that carries ATGMs at Era 3 as well. That's a Tech Tree vehicle. But penetration is 880, and again, we can carry up to 2 different types of ATGMs and carry up to 16 of the ATGMs. You know what, guys? Let's go check a vehicle I do know that does fight for the Western Allies with its ATGMs. The Bradley. So, okay, the Bradley does 1,100 damage with its stock ATGMs. Try for that. Let's also look at the upgraded ATGM launcher, and it's still doing 1,300. I mean, it's like 100, 200 more than the stock gun, but this thing is still doing twice as much more damage with its ATGMs than the new German vehicles are with their ATGMs. The only ones really doing 1,000 is the Beacon Panzer 57, the Model 1A3 and the Model 1A1 is not doing as much damage as the Runga Panzer is doing with its ATGMs. So, will the Russian vehicle, light tank, as it's called, does 1,000 damage with its ATGMs? Let's check this out. No, it's not. Okay, so Russians aren't getting the 1,000 damage. But while their upgraded ATGM launcher, which... Oh, here it is. Okay, so it's not doing 1,000 damage either with its ATGMs. Okay, that is pretty weird that the Americans do get the more powerful ATGMs apparently, I'm guessing, with nearly 1,340 upgraded with the Bradbury. But yeah, I really don't get this. But you know, it is what it is, I guess. And let me know what you think about why doesn't the Germans do more damage with their ATGMs? Is it because they're different than the Americans? And why isn't the Russians doing any more than what any other nation is doing too? Because when you look at premium vehicles like the French MX-13 SS11, it's doing nearly 1,000 so damage as well with its ATGMs. But I know you probably all thinking about what I said as a few minutes ago about what I am surprised they have not added to the game as two light tanks. I'm surprised they did not added the Weasel. Now, yes, we have the Weasel Toe as an Aero 3 Premium tank destroyer. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the one with the autocannon as a light tank. It's an armor-fighting vehicle in real life. I'm surprised that they didn't add it either in Era 2 or somewhere within the tech tree for the German light tanks. I mean, yes, it would have been a small vehicle, probably hard to hit, but they could have added somewhere inside the tech tree. Let me know, did you want to see the Weasel as well? The Weasel with the autocannon, not the tow launcher, inside the tech tree, because we already have one as a premium, so yeah. But that's one of the vehicles I wanted to see. The other one is the modern Puma, which is the armored fighting vehicle for the Germans. I mean, I could be wrong. They might be planning on adding more stuff to the game for Cold War because we are missing two more parts within the Cold War's Era 3 vehicles. We could be seeing the Puma or at least two models of the Puma later on down the road. But I'm surprised we didn't get to see the Puma with its autocannon, and I think it can carry ATGMs as well. I could be wrong about that. Don't know much about the Puma, but it's a German armored fighting vehicle for their modern day army. Those are the two vehicles I'm surprised that they really didn't add it into the game as within the German tech tree, and I'm also surprised that they didn't split the tech tree in two different parts as well, as a light tank line and a tank destroyer line. I don't know why they did this, mixed them together like this. Who knows? Maybe they were planning on spreading them down the road, or maybe adding in another line for the Germans, or probably adding the Puma later on down the line, something like that. Maybe add some vehicles as premiums. Not sure what their plans are for the German light tanks, but you know, hopefully they do add the Puma sometime. Hopefully it's not going to be a premium Aero 3 vehicle. I mean, if they do, they'll probably add one of the models as a premium, but hopefully we'll get to see at least two models for the German Puma within the tech tree. Let me know what kind of vehicles did you want to see within the German light tanks and tank destroyers. Or are you surprised that they added them together like this? This was something different for me to where you see them be added together like this. Like I'm really surprised about it. But yeah. There we go. We have the German tank destroyers and light tanks in the game. Um Let me know what you think about this video. Uh, Oh my goodness, I am so sorry for that, guys. Let me know what you think about this, all these vehicles in this video today we did. Um, like I said, I'm sorry for not getting this video out for you guys sooner. Just things came up a little bit here and there, so yeah. But you know, at least I got it out for you guys. And like I said, let me know what kind of vehicles they should have added, or should they made it into different parts. And did you want to see the Puma as well, like I did, for the German light tanks? Let me know all this down in the comments down below. And like always, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. And if you guys did enjoy it, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to, and like always, I'll catch you guys the next one. Bye for now.